Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio. There's a lot more to know.
We all know that paper has disappeared. Really? The year was 1975. That's nearly 40 years ago. That's when a national news magazine forecasted the office of the future. Remember the catchphrase? We kind of still hear it today, the paperless office. Well, I'll bet you didn't know paper consumption is at an extreme level, and believe it or not, in today's technologically advanced economy, document products make information-based work simpler, more effective, and more efficient. They're far from your father's cracking copier or grinding printer. They have evolved into a dynamic competitive force, driving both improved bottom line and rapid collaboration innovation. And it's all happening in ways you could only imagine. Well, more than imagine, you can actually see it for yourself. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, March 12, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. Office equipment with clouds and apps and Wi-Fi. Whatever happened to printers and faxes and dictation devices? Well, you might think they've all headed for the antique roadshow. However, that would be a competitively dangerous misconception that could be costing you big on the bottom line and in the marketplace. Advanced document products and managed document processes are bringing groundbreaking changes to business workflow. Up to the Tech Talk, tomorrow's paperless office. Has it really become today's busy workplace with everyday document demands for printing, copying, faxing, and scanning? Easy touch screens with menu-driven job-built tabs, powerful scalable options for color management, document finishing, high-volume faxing. Tomorrow's paperless society is really today's workhorse in the digital workplace. From security, protection, to seamless integration, streamlined productivity to safe, secure, and fast performance. The Tech Talk takes us inside out as today's and tomorrow's workplace and workgroup document products with industry leader and top executive Charlie Gibson, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Operations at Milner Document Products. Since assuming his position in 1987, Charlie has seen and played a crucial role in the industry's rapid evolution. Prior to Milner, he was with Lanier Business Products and Harris 3M. The direction of office services industry and how it will change the very way you make your business work as we Tech Talk business process technology and improvements with Milner Executive Vice President, General Manager Charlie Gibson.
This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by Globalspeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of Globalspeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions.
Charlie, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi, Frank. Thank you for having me on today.
I think we've got a really interesting subject for our listeners today, one that most of us probably take for granted in our day-to-day activities, the whole document products industry, document product operations. You've been around it for a long time, 1980s, 87. Tell us a little bit about where it was, where it is now, and kind of where it's going.
Okay. Well, where it was when we got into the business back in 87, we were originally a office equipment dealer, more specifically selling copiers. And for a long period of time, that's all we were. You know, you'd walk up to a device, place something on the glass or in a document feeder, and it was really simple. What you got, what you put into it, and it's kind of what you get is what it looks like.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, exactly. And all that's changed. It's a lot of catchphrases. Some things that are referred to as office imaging, and the devices today really are nothing more than an on-ramp or an enabler to allow businesses to operate and accomplish more of their business objectives.
I guess, that's the bottom line, and literally, figuratively, it isn't just about convenience anymore. It's about the bottom line, talking about a return on investment. Tell us about how organization document management plays a role in, say, the efficient and competitiveness of a business.
Well, it allows them to streamline a lot of what they do. They're able to move documents quicker around an organization. If you take a step back and look at organizations that are based here in Atlanta and they may have appendages, other branches throughout the other parts of the country, they can instantaneously move whatever the data is very rapidly across their network. And this is data that started out as a paper document, and they can move it around the world very quickly, and it has improved their efficiency and has made them accomplish their business objectives that much quicker.
I would think that one of the cliches, one is the Atlanta traffic being madness. The other side of it is no matter what technology I bought, there's something that just came out that's better, faster, quicker later in the afternoon when I just got it in. How does the document equipment, how does it keep up from a technology standpoint when you're dealing with so many devices becoming more mobile and so many issues becoming so much connected to the quote-unquote cloud?
Well, if you take a step back, and you've probably heard this slogan before, if you can buy it, then it's obsolete.
Really?
It's not quite that bad with particularly the office imaging products. If you back in the day, it was always speeds and feeds, and to a certain extent it is the same today, but they've added horsepower to them, with additional functionality. You're able to include software and other solutions at the box, if you want to call it that, which again enables the product to not become such a commodity, much like what the copiers were in their day.
Well, it's kind of funny to a degree when I hear you say that we started in 1987 selling copiers. Certainly a lot of our listeners will know your brand and know your company by its name, but most may not realize you employ over 375 people and fundamentally cover the continental United States. Give us an idea about the year after year growth and the expansion, and maybe a little bit, like you're really going to tell us the secret. What's the secret?
Well,
good quality, good service, good price, pick any two?
Well, you could say it's all of the above. What's really important and how you grow your business year over year in this industry is to provide outstanding service to your customers, because if you did not provide the quality service to your customers, they would leave you and go elsewhere. And instead of going forward, you're going backwards. Mm-hmm. And eventually, if you continue to use that approach, you won't have any customers and you can't grow your business.
Well, obviously, one of the things that we hear a lot about, especially in the IT services space, is managed services, managed IT services. Obviously, part of the process of keeping those customers is making sure that you keep them up to date and give them the best equipment for their time, managing to a degree what their needs are at the moment. But now I guess you're getting into the managed IT services for your customers. Maybe tell us a little bit about how that works.
Sure, I'd be glad to. We're not really just getting into it. If we go back to the year 1994, we bought a company called ComSquared Systems, and they were providing IT services and solutions at a very high level to enterprise companies. And we have been providing that type of service, like I said, since 1994. And we looked at our core customer base that was using at one point in time just copiers. And as you know, copiers over time started integrating on the network when they became multifunctional devices. And so as we fast forwarded, we realized that we were touching each and every one of our customers' networks, and it was a natural evolution to have the leap of faith to take the knowledge that we had learned at ComSquared and provide that knowledge to what is known in our industry as the SMB market, which is your 100 employees and under type of accounts. And we've been doing that now for quite some time, and we've had great response from our customers.
Well, one of the things you hear a lot when you're talking about IT consulting and IT services is the word trust, and obviously with a reputation built by way of the document products, you've already established some of that. Instead of the cliche about making walls, you were building bridges. But the other side of it also is that most entrepreneurs, I think, will agree they'd rather have a single source trusted advisor that can handle many things rather than having to deal with a multitude of individual situations that may or may not even interface with each other. So I'm guessing that a lot of the evolution coming out of the document space going into the IT management services was a natural evolution from that trust factor and the efficiency of just having a single source.
Without a doubt. You've got that as an issue. We talk about it here when we have meetings that, we can't break our customers' trust because it's so hard to earn.
Mm-hmm.
And as we have expanded our offerings into this, we have discovered that I believe what's going to keep companies in our space in business for many years to come is that they're going to be able to provide not just one solution or two solutions, but the entire ball of wax, so to speak, everything that a business needs, and we'll be able to provide those services efficiently, and they will be able to reduce the number of vendors that they are doing business with. And we have heard that from many of our clients that it costs them exponentially more to do business with 10 accounts than it does with one account or two accounts.
Tell us a little bit about, some of our listeners may not be aware of the evolution of the technology services that have come into play into the document area, things like custom programming and scanning and the whole business process improvement.
Okay, that's a great question. Our industry as a whole has been moving forward to a services-led business. One of the objections that we have received from our customers over time is that, when we've talked to them about managed services, is that we have a in-house IT department, that they don't need us, and we hear that quite frequently. And our typical response to that would be something to the effect that that's great, but we aren't really here to replace your in-house department. And you can imagine when you're talking to the IT folks, they're thinking you could be replacing me. So our objective is not to replace them, but to supplement their department. One of the questions that we may ask them is how many unfinished projects they currently have in their queue.
Wow.
And in an in-house department, it's not unusual for that to happen because they're constantly putting out fires. These fires that start day to day. And as a byproduct of that, we're able to provide them with other services like custom programming, scanning, and backfile conversions. And many of these jobs are things that never get completed, and they do when you employ somebody as a contractor to come in and take care of that.
One of the things that I choose to ask a lot of the opportunities we have to interview so many great experts, and that is that often they are intensely passionate, obviously have a tremendous experience, and so they know what the solutions are, and they talk often about, well, we have a solution, then this is what we do. But they don't necessarily say to that small to medium-sized enterprise that's an owner or a decision maker, here are some of the problems that you should be looking at, and if you have those problems, you need us. What would be some of those problems that you would say to an entrepreneur, an enterprise decision maker, if you're, like you're saying, if you've got projects in the queue that are not getting done, where you might look to an outsource like us. If you're not getting the most efficiency out of your document processing, what would be some of the ones that, as a potential buyer, I may not even know that I have a problem?
Well, one of the things that we'll talk to them about is if they've had any type of risk assessment done on their network. They're so busy being busy that often they continue working within their own confines of their own network and have never either had an outside company take a look at, or even more importantly, have an inside entity within their own company take a look at what are their risk assessments. In today's age, there's people out there trying to spread viruses and attack networks, and if they haven't stayed in compliance, if they're depending on what type of business, then they are really at risk, and that's really what we talk about.
Well, I'm at we're unfortunately running a little long, but I got to ask you one last question, and it may not be directly related to what you do, but certainly the big buzz over the last several months is the whole concept of 3D copying. Where do you see that going? Get us from your expertise perspective. What's the future hold for that kind of thing?
I believe firmly that everything that you hear people talk about eventually comes true. If you go back in the day, again, like we talked about earlier, things that you would hear discussed 15, 20 years ago, talking about the paperless office and things of this nature, that hasn't fully occurred, but the consumption of paper is down. And if manufacturers can provide 3D copying and make it something that's worthwhile in the marketplace and something that becomes user-friendly and affordable, I believe it'll happen just because customers want to have it.
You know, I was thinking as you were saying that without a bottom line, you know, and if you've ever lived through the day, whatever decade that is that you want to talk about, it's always a case where something was going to be made obsolete by something else. Some new technology was going to come online. It could have gone back to traditional media when they talked about newspapers against, say, broadcast or now the internet and that kind of thing. And I think one of the things you really helped us to get a sense of today, Charlie, is that the document part to make it all work in synchronization. So I think ideally that was some really great insight that, you know, again, you do it every day. We don't. So to hear an expert talk about it with the ease that you do, I think it really makes it kind of a little bit more of a trust factor than normal to just pick up that phone or make contact with someone that you know that you can outsource something like that to. Well, Charlie, thank you for taking so much of your time today from your busy schedule to join us for a few minutes on Tech Talk.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, and I hope that your listeners have a better understanding of what Milner does.